Before you close your eyes tonight, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to improve their English so much faster than everyone else? Is it because they're smarter? Do they have better teachers? Or is there something they know that most people don't? For years, people have searched for an easier way to learn English. Some believe expensive courses are the answer. Others spend hours memorizing vocabulary, only to forget most of it a few days later. And then there's a question that millions of people ask every year. Can you actually learn English while you sleep? The answer might surprise you. Not because it's simply yes, and not because it's completely no. The truth is much more interesting. While you're sleeping, your brain isn't switched off. In fact, it's incredibly busy. It organizes memories, strengthens important connections, removes unnecessary information, and prepares your mind for the next day. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below. Your support helps us create more inspiring English stories. Thank you for watching. Scientists have discovered that sleep plays an important role in memory. When you learn something during the day, your brain continues processing that information while you rest. That's one reason why people often remember things better after a good night's sleep. But here's where many people get confused. Some videos promise that you'll wake up speaking perfect English after listening overnight. Unfortunately, that's not how the human brain works. If it were that easy, everyone in the world would already be fluent. Real language learning still requires attention, practice, and patience. However, that doesn't mean listening before sleep is useless. Far from it. Imagine walking through a forest every single day. At first, there is no path. The grass is tall. The trees block your way. Every step feels difficult. But after walking the same route again and again, something changes. A clear path begins to appear. Walking becomes easier, faster, more natural. Your brain works in a similar way. Every time you hear English, even if you don't understand every word, your brain becomes a little more familiar with its sounds, rhythm, and patterns. The first time you hear a sentence, it may sound confusing. The 10th time, it sounds familiar. The 50th time, you may understand it without even trying. That's not magic. That's how familiarity works. And familiarity is one of the most powerful tools in language learning. Think about a song you love. Did you memorize the lyrics by studying them? Probably not. You simply heard the song again and again until the words became part of your memory. Language works in much the same way. The more meaningful English you hear, the less foreign it feels. Slowly, your listening improves. Your vocabulary grows. Your confidence becomes stronger. So tonight, don't put pressure on yourself to remember every sentence. You don't need to. Your only job is to relax, listen, and allow your brain to become more comfortable with the sound of English. Because every journey toward fluency begins with one simple habit: listening. And the next few minutes may help you build that habit more than you realize. Part 2. Why some people learn English faster than others. Now, let me ask you another question. Have you ever met someone who seems to learn English incredibly fast? Maybe you thought, they must have a special talent. They're probably just smarter than me. Or perhaps you told yourself, I'll never speak English like that. But what if those thoughts aren't true? What if the biggest difference isn't intelligence, but exposure? Think about a child learning their first language. No one hands a baby a dictionary. No one asks a 2-year-old to memorize hundreds of words. Instead, the child hears the same language every single day. The same sounds, the same expressions, the same sentence patterns. Again and again. Little by little, the brain starts recognizing those patterns. This ability is one of the brain's greatest strengths. Your brain is constantly searching for patterns. It notices what appears often. It ignores what appears only once. That's exactly why learning 50 new words in one day often doesn't work. A week later, most of those words disappear. But hearing the same useful vocabulary many times over several days creates something much stronger. Your brain begins to think, I know this word. I've heard it before. This sounds familiar. And that's the moment real progress begins. Now imagine listening to English for just 10 minutes every evening. 10 minutes may not sound like much, but let's do the math. 10 minutes a day becomes more than 60 hours in a single year. 60 hours of listening. 60 hours of hearing natural pronunciation. 60 hours of becoming familiar with real English. That is far more powerful than many people realize. Here's another mistake many learners make. They wait until they feel motivated. But motivation comes and goes. Habits stay. Successful English learners don't practice only when they feel excited. They practice because it has become part of their daily routine. Just like brushing their teeth. Just like drinking water. Just like going to sleep. And here's something interesting. Have you noticed that some English words suddenly seem to appear everywhere after you learn them? Yesterday, you had never noticed the word. Today, you hear it in a movie. You see it on social media. Someone says it in a video. It almost feels as if the world has changed. But the world didn't change. Your brain did. Once your brain recognizes something as important, it starts paying attention to it. This is one of the reasons consistent exposure works so well. The more English becomes part of your daily life, the more your brain notices it. And the more your brain notices it, the easier learning becomes. So don't worry if you don't understand everything you hear tonight. No one does. Even advanced learners continue discovering new words every day. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. One sentence at a time. One new word at a time. One peaceful evening at a time. Because fluency isn't built in a single night. It's built through hundreds of small moments. Part 3. Train your brain, not just your memory. Take a moment and think about this. Why do some English sentences feel impossible to understand, while others seem completely natural? The answer isn't always vocabulary. In many cases, it's familiarity. Your brain doesn't process language one word at a time forever. As you become more experienced, it starts recognizing groups of words instead of individual words. For example, when you hear the sentence, "How are you doing today?" A beginner may hear 5 separate words, but an experienced listener hears only one familiar expression. That is one of the secrets of fluent listening. Fluent speakers don't translate every word into their native language. They recognize patterns instantly. And here's the exciting part. Your brain can learn to do the same thing, but only if you give it enough exposure. Every minute you spend listening to English helps your brain become more comfortable with these patterns. At first, progress feels slow. You might listen to an entire video and understand only a few sentences. That can feel frustrating. But don't stop. Because something is happening that you cannot see. Your brain is collecting information. It is comparing sounds. It is noticing pronunciation. It is connecting words together. Even when you think you're not improving, your brain is quietly preparing for future understanding. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. The first attempt feels impossible. You lose your balance. You make mistakes. You fall. But every attempt teaches your brain something new. Then one day, without even realizing it, you stay balanced. Language learning often feels exactly the same. One day, English seems confusing. Then suddenly, you watch a short video and understand almost everything. It wasn't luck. It wasn't magic. It was the result of hundreds of small learning moments coming together. This is why patience is one of the most valuable skills an English learner can have. Many people quit just before they begin seeing real progress. Don't let that be your story. Keep showing up. Keep listening. Keep learning. Remember, you are not trying to become perfect overnight. You are training your brain to think differently. Every English sentence you hear is another step toward fluency. Every new expression makes the next conversation a little easier. Every night you choose to spend a few peaceful minutes with English, you are investing in your future. So if today's lesson feels difficult, that's okay. If you understand only 20%, that's okay too. Tomorrow may be 25%. Next month it may be 50%. And one day, you'll realize something incredible. You are no longer translating every sentence. You are simply understanding it. That is the moment every English learner dreams about. And with consistent practice, that moment will come. So relax. Keep listening. Trust the process. Your brain is learning more than you think. And to never give up. Thank you for spending these peaceful moments with me. I hope this video has inspired you to continue your English journey. Now it's time to relax. Take a slow, deep breath. Let your mind rest. And remember, Every day you spend with English brings you one step closer to the person you want to become. Good night. Sleep well. And I'll see you in the next lesson.